Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's USN Travel Talk. And today, for those ones who is not, I see we have not too many with us, but for those one who doesn't know me, my name is Christine, and I'm the director of United Spirit Nordic in Copenhagen or in the Nordic countries. And these travel talks, we are talking with different partners and people around the world just to give a little bit of an update how people are coming through the pandemic, what's on the way to, coming, and also how things are opening up when hopefully borders are opening up. And today I am going to talk again with Daniel from Destination Asia in Thailand. Daniel, maybe, not Daniel. Daniel, yeah. And Daniel is sitting in Bangkok. He's home at the moment, working from home.
Yep.
And I'm sitting, of course, in Dubai, as many people know already. So we are more on the afternoon situation, while Denmark is just, or Scandinavia is just waking up. I see we got a few people with us. It's 10 o'clock in Scandinavia. So, and let's see, we are having a few people joining us. So, but Daniel, welcome again.
Thank you so much for having me again. And hello, everybody. Good morning.
Morning, morning or afternoon, I say to you. I think, how is Bangkok doing? Is it getting warmer?
It's very warm, actually. I believe we're at 31 degrees right now. I haven't been out at all day. Spent the entire day at home. But yeah, temperature is 31. It's not much rain, not yet at least.
No.
Can't complain.
No.
We can afford to go out for a walk.
Exactly. And well, of course, in Scandinavia at the moment, they are having the coldest winter in a long time. So they have having minus 10 degrees and, these things. So yeah, and snow. Everybody has had snow, even in Denmark. And so they still have
snow. I saw some pictures. Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing, so it is. And I know we just talked about the Daniel and me, that Daniel was a monk lover as well, and as a Norwegian, of course, we need to just appreciate that. I have a few Norwegians with me on board here as well, so I promised to send him a link to the new Munch Museum in Oslo, so he can have a walk through there as well online, as we all do. And as if Jeanette is saying good morning from Poland, I know that Jeanette is Norwegian, but she lives in Poland at the moment, so people are around the world here. And I said we got a few boats from Norway and from Sweden, and one from Denmark, I think there is as well. So that's great. And for those ones who's just listening to afterwards, of course, those listening now, we're sending the replay, and you can send it to friends or to colleagues as well if they want to listen to it. And then for those who's listening afterwards on the replay, you can still ask questions in the chat, because they will be emailed to Jonas, and Jonas will, answer back again on these ones. And we'll take, get in contact with Daniel if you need some, clarification.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We can also send you some useful links. Yeah.
Exactly. I think maybe we shall just start on Daniel.
The presentation.
Daniel doesn't look Thai, put in this way. He's
I'm Thai by adoption. Yeah. I've been here for nearly 19 years. I'm actually Italian, as you probably figure out by my accent. Yeah. I came here as a backpacker. That was 19 years ago. I came here with the intention of staying only 3 months. I fell in love with this place, and I never left. And now I have the honor of being selling such a beautiful destination. Yeah. It's great. Life is great. In spite of the challenges, I'm still very happy.
Yes, that's good to hear, Daniel. I thought it's just in case someone didn't hear it last time you were on. It's just nice to have the update and understand your good accent and your good looks.
Oh, thank you. You're very charming.
Shall we just start on with the presentations, maybe?
Yeah,
we have a little bit of presentation, and then people can ask questions along when we're starting. I know you have some private pictures to come along with the whole thing today as well. So
that's right.
Nice. Yeah.
So we're going to start with a brief introduction of Destination Asia. We are a full-fledged MC present in 11 countries and operating in 29 offices in Asia. So this is a map of our network. We are part of the Danata family. And we do have three main segments, three main brands. We have the wholesale and leisure one. That would be the next slides.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so those are our three main segments. So we got the leisure segment that obviously handle FIT, group series, and GIT. Then we got the My segment, which handles meetings, incentive, conference, and events. And then we got the cruise lines, which is a segment handling the shore excursions and turnaround services for all cruise liners, basically. Specifically for the leisure segment, next slide.
Mm-hmm. This one?
No, the next one. So I look after leisure. Oops, I have lost you. Oh, there you go. Okay, sorry, I lost you for a second. So that's a list of basically of what we handle within the leisure segments. So as I mentioned, we are a full-fledged DMC. Providing cutting-edge destination management services to wholesaler and operators, including but not limited to sitting coach and privately operated transfers and tours, classical and customized itinerary for FIT, GIT, and group series, dedicated and customized accommodation sourcing, local support and 24 hours customer service to guests in destination, adult groups, and a lot more. Something important that I wish to highlight here is that basically we can handle white label. So whenever you use us in destination, we are happy and we welcome the opportunity to use your brand in destination. So your clients see you, not Destination Asia. Okay.
Exactly. So that's good for bigger groups as well.
Yes,
Are you thinking what is, and like you said, you're part of the Danata family as well, which is good. I think for these days, I think it's good to know also you got the financial background. So I think for tour operator and travel agents listening into it, it's a good thing to know that, you know, especially in these days, like we talked about earlier, we had 2020 bookings being postponed to 2021. Now we see a lot of 21 bookings being postponed to 22. And people are thinking, can I cancel and get money back? And of course, this is not an issue within the group as well.
Absolutely.
You paid back everything. You kind of all cancellations been paid back. So there is no one you're owing money to in terms of tour operators and travel agencies.
That's right. And then if I can make an additional note here, I mean, if you have a client wanting to book Thailand, please go ahead and do it, because we are very flexible when it comes to cancellation, refunds, and payment conditions. So go ahead and book a Thailand, because you can rest assured that if travel won't happen because of COVID-19 related reason, you're going to get your money back. It would be better to keep those money as a credit, because then you won't be making any loss with the exchange rate, but you won't be losing your money. So keep sending booking through. If worse come to worse, those money won't be lost.
Exactly. So, and I think it's good to know, because in these days, as we know, it's not, you know, we don't know how long this is going to continue in terms of ways. So it's also about who will survive.
Security, safety and security. Yeah, exactly. And there are a few companies that unfortunately went bust in Thailand as well as the rest of the world. But like you mentioned, we're part of Danata, the Emirates Group, and we are financially very stable.
Yeah.
So, since the focus of the talk is going to be COVID, right? I thought I would give you like a very quick update. This is for Sunday, like a few days ago. We had a total of 23,371 cases, only 79 deaths, which is still too much, but compared to the worldwide average is very little. And most of people have actually recovered. Now, lockdown status, because we are sort of a peak right after Christmas and New Year, there are some parts of the countries that have stricter regulations than other parts of the country, but the situation is very volatile, and we have a site where basically we provide live updates all the times. The country is actually open, the borders are open, so everybody is allowed to travel into Thailand. The condition, though, is that whenever you enter Thailand, you need to spend 14 nights in quarantine, which obviously there's a lot of people from coming, because that's the amount of days that people have available. Outbound travel is restricted, but it's restricted only because there aren't many flights right now. Most of the flights are repatriation flights or charter flights, and as a consequence, it's still difficult to come to Thailand, even though the borders are open, and it's difficult for Thai people or expats like myself to travel out of Thailand, bearing in mind, and then there is a quarantine when you come back.
Okay, so can I ask you just, so if, sure, for example, I would travel to Thailand, I wanted to go to Thailand from Dubai, of course there is flights from Dubai anyway, so they're going in. I could go, but I need to be in a quarantine hotel or
That's right.
Yeah, so a special dedicated hotel for quarantine.
It's a special dedicated hotel, and TAT and the Tourism Authority have set up a special website where you can actually make those bookings. The hotel that you select, and there is a wide range of hotels from 3-star to 5-star, from Phuket to Bangkok to Pattaya, and I believe even Chiang Mai, if I'm not wrong. Basically, you can choose the hotel you want. They provide transfer, they provide meal, they provide medical tests. Everything is booked through this particular company. It's a government appointed company. So everything is booked through them. You can channel the booking through us, but everything is handled at their side. And then once you finish the quarantine, then you're going to be our guest. Basically, we will look after you.
Okay, so that package, put in this way, the quarantine package comes to one price or different prices depending on standard of your hotel. Or... Exactly.
Yeah, there is a price depending on whether it's twin sharing, single room, depending on whether it is 3-star or 4-star or 5-star. As a matter of fact, there are even some golf resorts that put together a package.
Yeah,
so if you're a golfer and you're gonna get stuck in a hotel for 14 days, you might as well book a dedicated golf resort. At least you can. Not throughout the day, you need to pre-book in advance because they want to limit the number of people on the course, but you can go out and enjoy, golfing while you're in quarantine. So that's something that the government is doing to try persuade people to come and in spite of the quarantine, let's say.
Okay, so I can actually opt my handicap in 2 weeks of golfing instead, and I get a much better.
That's right. The only thing is that you will be constrained to one golf course. These people actually do come for up to a month for golfing, but they travel around, experience different courses. This time you're stuck with one particular golf, which again is a better option than being stuck in a hotel room. With that said, it's never a hotel room, just a hotel room. For the first few days, you're not allowed out, but after having the second test, because you're going to have a total of 3 tests, after having the second test, you are allowed a few hours 1 hour per day at the swimming pool, if they have one, at the gym or at the gardens, depending on the hotel again. So it's not 14 days inside the hotel rooms. You're allowed some time out, but that time is to be allocated.
Exactly. So it's just, but that's a special package which has to be booked, can be booked through you, but it's a price on that package which you have to pay, and then you are a normal guest after that package.
That's right. Yes. After the quarantine, you are a normal tourist.
Yeah.
With the advantage of being able to stay for up to 90 days. Yeah.
The visa is actually extended now because it was 30 days before, wasn't it? The visa.
The normal visa is for 30 days, but bearing in mind that you're required to be 14 days in quarantine.
Exactly.
Obviously, they need to extend it. So you have this option.
Okay.
Right. I mentioned that basically the situation is very volatile, especially bearing in mind that different areas of the countries have different conditions right now. So what Destination Asia has done, we have created a dedicated COVID-19 report site where the information related to regulation and restrictions is updated as they happen. And we also have put together a document, the one at the bottom, specific for each country, highlighting basically all the measures that Destination Asia has implemented to protect clients when clients can finally travel back to Asia or to any of our destinations.
So it's an easy thing. You could just go into destinationasia.com. It's destination-asia.com. and you find all these things there, and everybody can actually go in. So even if there is, consumers as well, they can go in and have a look and check on the country and all the regulations and everything, and what's updated. It's updated on a daily basis. So that's all.
Well, as often as things change, basically, whenever we are notified of a change, then the site is updated, and then the update is live. So my suggestion is for you to save it as a favorite. So whenever you log into it or you go to it, you can see the most up-to-date information.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's a very good site, and I think for everybody who is interested in Asia or wants to go, maybe looking in future, it's a good site to get in. And for even travel agents and tour operators, it's good to just forward that thing actually to the clients as well, so they can read by themselves too.
Yes, absolutely. Also because there are no rates in there, so there is no confidential information, but the information that is readily available to the general public, it's just collated into one site, one document. Exactly. So it's very easy. And then it's also very easy if you want to jump from country to country, because there is a different tab for each country we operate in. So you want to know what's happening in Thailand, and you're thinking, I want to do the combination Thailand-Cambodia. You just click on the second tab, that's Cambodia. You can see whether, things can match.
Exactly.
Right.
And then back to the practices.
The practices. You have probably heard that Thailand has done very well in the fight against COVID. It is true that now we have something like 23,000 cases, but up until Christmas and New Year, we only had a total of 8,000 cases. And that's because the Thai people follow the rule to the dot. They are very responsible. They are very mindful of others, and basically, by simply following these main practices, these main protection measure, we have managed to basically keep the COVID-19 infection at a very low rate. So what are these basic practices? Body temperature screening points, alcohol gel and hand washing station, compulsory mask wearing, contact tracing, and obviously social distancing. Now, what I've done, I thought that basically I will document through candid pictures, so they're not professional pictures, I've actually taken them with my phone, how these practices have actually been implemented in the daily life, and how easy it is to carry on with your normal life, in spite of, being restrained by certain practices or control measure, let's say. So let's start from the moment I actually leave my place. So this is a journey through work. So as soon as I leave my place, I close the door. I have a reminder outside my door. By the way, I live in a condominium. I can say it's a skyscraper. We have over 800 units in there, so it's quite big. And as soon as I leave my unit's door, I have a reminder that I need to wear a mask, which sometimes I forget to do if I'm in a rush or I want to go to the gym. So that's a good reminder. As soon as I go into the lift, I have an alcohol gel station, so hand sanitizer inside the lift. So within 30 seconds from leaving my place, two of those practices are there already. Basically, I have encountered two of those practices.
Yeah. This is similar, we say here as well. We got that. I have lined up all the masks actually on the counter before they're going out for everybody here.
So this is basically inside the lift of my building. Basically, you need to be facing the wall. There is a maximum of 4 people, depending on the size of the lift. It's either 4 people or 6 people, and everybody needs to be facing the opposite direction, so you don't breathe on each other. So you are wearing a mask, and inside the lift, you need to be facing the opposite direction. And that's something that honestly I haven't seen in any other countries. That's basically on the right-hand side, the buttons on the lift are actually protected with a plastic sheet that is disinfected at regular times throughout the day and changed every day.
Yeah, it's the same here in Dubai.
Oh, you have in Dubai?
In Dubai, they have plastic and they disinfect it every day. I think in the beginning, before, when the whole was new, then they disinfected it, then realized it was all water coming in and everything into the whole thing. So then they realized, okay, put plastic over everything. And it's
But the
standing side, but standing with your face towards the wall, we haven't put in place.
Right?
No, but we're only allowed to have 3 people in an elevator.
Right, because we actually mark where a person can stay, nobody can actually, let's say, push through into a lift. That's actually very, very helpful. And then I'll show you, there is another picture coming afterwards, which gives a better representation of what's happening in the lift as well. So, okay, next slide. This is, again, I'm still outside my place. This is literally outside my building, and there are some social distancing signs. It's a bit of an eyesore, honestly, but you get used to it eventually, and this serves the purpose. So in here, I'm outside my door, I'm waiting for a shuttle or for a taxi, and everybody is leaving the building at the same time, rush hour. So everybody has a place to adhere to social distancing measures.
Yeah. And so, again, like you said, it's very similar. I don't think you see this in Scandinavia. Someone in the chat can reply back on that and see if you see this, a lot of these marks outside, because we have it by the bus stop here as well in Dubai. So in the bus stop, there is marks where you're standing, so you keep social distancing.
Oh, and here you have it pretty much everywhere, actually, which is a good reminder, because sometimes, you know, you're thinking, you're wondering, you know, your mind is somewhere, and you tend to forget. Even though you do it on a daily basis, you tend to forget. Sometimes you do forget, and I forget. And that visual aid reminds you, hold on a second, I need to keep distance, you know?
Exactly. It's a good reminder that, oh, I need to maybe, you know, step back a little.
I'm standing too close to a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. So I'm at the train station. We have the SkyTrain, which is like a monorail, and then we have the underground. Now, depending on how busy a station is, you have either a fancy machine like the one on the left-hand side where everything is automated, or you have somebody with a gun measuring your temperature. So as soon as you enter the station, the temperature is measured either by gun or by automated machine. So people, the authorities and the people working there make sure that nobody is over 37, because the moment you're higher than 37, bleeping, the machine starts bleeping, and then you won't be admitted into the station.
Exactly. And like I said, we had it all the same. They start taking away a little bit on them, but they have it on the big shopping malls here. We still have it like automatic, like there's a camera who's
Right.
And of course, when you're coming into hotter weather, you need to be, because this summer when it was like 50 degrees here and you've been standing outside for a while and you're getting into this and they measure and they're going like, and they knew there was problems. So they said like, oh, wait for like a few minutes. And
to cool down, right? I noticed that as well, because if I'm in a rush, actually my temperature is always like 36.7, 36.8. So I was like, okay, I started cooling down as well, actually. Right, so this is what's happening inside the train. You know, every other seat is empty, and this is a sample inside the monorail, inside the SkyTrain, and inside the underground. Now, this is the situation, let's say, early morning and late at night. But if you go to the next slide, this is the situation that you see on a regular basis during rush hour. So how are the authority compensating this crowded situation? By reminding everybody to be facing away from each other and refraining from speaking to each other or on the phone. And everybody complies with this rule. So it's really bizarre, because you might be in a crowded place like a SkyTrain station, everybody's next to each other, but nobody's speaking on the phone and nobody is speaking to each other. And that seems to be working.
I think that's also working maybe because, like you said, Asians more compliable to things. I think maybe in Scandinavia, it would have a little bit of a hard time going on
right.
To these things.
Yeah, culture does play a big role in here. Because as I said, the Asian culture in general is very mindful of the other people, you know. And yes, everybody cares about their own freedom, but they understand in here that safety in this situation comes first. So, okay, I leave this SkyTrain, take a motorbike, a short motorbike drive to my office, and again, I go through a temperature scan, disinfect my hand, and this is the situation that happens inside the lift again. Everybody on the right-hand side.
Cool.
That's what's happening in the lift. A maximum of 6 people, and everybody facing away from each other. So everybody needs to be facing the wall, let's say. Excellent. So this is inside my office, and everybody does comply to this. As bizarre as it is, everybody's very compliant. Now,
I can see that, Daniel, I can see that someone is asking about how the vaccination is going on in Thailand, but you are going to get on to that a little bit afterwards, isn't it?
Shall I address this question now? Basically, originally we planned to start rolling out the vaccination in February, so this month, but it's not clear exactly why. Apparently, the vaccination is being postponed to June right now. Hopefully it's going to be anticipated again, but as of now, the most likely date is June. Vaccination is going to start in June. Right, so going back to my photo journal, this is different places where I go for lunch, where everybody, again, there is a separation between people. So picture 1 and 2 on the top are like, let's say, local restaurant. Then picture 3 on the left-hand side is the restaurant in a hotel. And then the picture on the bottom, right-hand side is a canteen. As you can see, there is a separation between seats, and only a maximum of a person is allowed to sit at the table. And if you move to the next slide, that's not only limited to restaurants, also in the street, and Thailand is very famous because of the street food, social distancing is being complied to. So if you look on the right-hand side, there is hand sanitizer, and you can find it in every single street stall, and this is how people eat in the street, basically. Before it was everybody next to each other. Now there is at least a meter in between every single stall. So no matter where you are, no matter how basic the place you go to is, social distancing and disinfecting are always adhered to. Obviously, you are eating, you don't wear a mask. As soon as you finish, you wear the mask back on.
Can I ask something else? It's because are you using, what kind of cutleries? Are they using one time like plastic cutleries, or people bring their own, or, you know?
There is something related to this. In most cases, it's either plastic or, reusable, but it's very thoroughly washed.
Yeah, okay.
It's very
because people just probably going to ask about that.
Yes.
And we're just thinking, Marietta, you probably got the answer back on the vaccination, didn't you? I'm just checking on her, so because she asked.
So sometimes between now and June. Hopefully it's going to be sooner than later.
Okay, cool.
Right, I finished working. This is not on that particular day. It was a few days before. I went for a haircut, and that's what's happening, and my barber and my hairdresser. So every single station is separated from each other. And then I found it a little bizarre, honestly. Depending on how many cases there are, they can either use a blade or not. I don't understand why, because blades are disposable, but that's something that they do. But that's interesting to see that separation in between the stations. And I've never seen it anywhere else either, actually.
No, we have separation like this, or we sit here, it's every second chair, or they take away 2 chairs, and then that's what we do with the hairdresser.
Okay, cool. So that's the hairdresser. That's what I go for a haircut. Right. I stopped by the supermarket. Every supermarket has basically plastic gloves, a disinfecting station. When you go to the counter, again, there is a separation. And that's, I took a picture while I was at the bank. Again, there is a separation between the clerk and the customer. So again, social distancing implemented everywhere throughout. Right. These are just took a few pictures showing how images and educating people are important, because no matter where you are, you always find signage reminding people of wearing a mask, or washing their hands, or keeping distance. And no, I don't remember where I took this picture, as a matter of fact, but wherever you are, you find signposting. Basically, that's very, very important.
But I think also it's part of what we need to do is educate our people in terms of like, Scandinavians coming down when they can't travel, or maybe the quarantine goes down a bit so people can start coming in. That means they need to also understand that these are the rules. And I think, of course, we in here in Dubai, we had a little bit of the issues suddenly coming out to the media saying that, everything is allowed in Dubai and everybody's going party. And I go like, no, they're not. But we have guests who's arriving in who doesn't understand the rules and doesn't apply to the rules, and they maybe also disappearing before they get caught by the police or authorities for not complying to the rules. So, of course, this is a little bit of, I think, our responsibility back here in Scandinavia. Yeah, to educate our guests and tell them before they're leaving that you have to remember that these are the rules when you're coming to Thailand, and you have to comply to them.
And there's no getting away from it, as a matter of fact, because as I told you at the beginning of the presentation, even as soon as I leave my place, I have a sign right there in front of my door reminding me, you know. And because all these signage are very cartoonish, even if you don't understand the language, you understand the message, you know. That's really obvious, you know.
Yeah. So and you can see that in the middle here as well. So
exactly. Now, special, this is about QR codes. Now, QR codes are used for three main reasons in here. First of all, for tracking. So whenever you enter somewhere, whether it's a shop or an office building or a shopping mall or a museum or an attraction, you need to check in and then you need to check out. That's the first picture. Then a lot of restaurants and bars and coffee places no longer have menus. You need to scan the menu. You need to download it onto your phone.
Yep.
That's to avoid, again, multiple people touching the same thing. And then there is the payment option. The QR code is used to make payments. It's linked to your bank. You can make money transfer instantly, so there is no exchange of cash. And that's something that is very much adhered in Thailand.
For just one question on, because when you're checking into, for example, a museum or attractions, you need to download an app first?
It's called Tana Chart. What's happening in here? We do have this. It's like WhatsApp, but it's very Asian. It's called Line. Line is automatically linked to this Tana Chart application, so you don't even need to download any special app. It's you download this Asian version of WhatsApp, and then you can use that Asian version of WhatsApp. And if you come to visit Thailand, you are most likely to download this Line application, because communication in here happens through Line, not through WhatsApp.
Okay, so basically download that app.
Basically, yes. Yeah, it can be either the tracking system or...
exactly, and that will be something maybe you also tell your clients when they're arriving. Maybe
that's right, yes.
To download it, so they can easily do that scanning. I think
that's right. Yeah. That's correct.
Okay, cool.
Okay, and then the next slide, again, a few signs. You know, I randomly took pictures everywhere I went, but I especially want to point out the one on the right, on the left-hand side, top or bottom, because a lot of shopping malls have basically a special mat that disinfects your shoes as you walk through. And then at the bottom, originally, before COVID, everybody was invited to bring their own cup when they go for a coffee, for example. That's no longer allowed. So those are two additional measures that businesses are taking to fight, you know, COVID.
Okay. And I think it's the same everywhere as well. They've done the same thing as well. And of course, there's a bit more use of single items at the moment. Hopefully, we can get
plastic.
Well.
We did a good job actually with getting rid of plastic, but now we're kind of having a setback. But then again, there isn't an easy solution. And these are two pictures that I decided to include because I thought they highlight how education actually is implemented everywhere throughout the kingdom, no matter where you are. In here, I am in a little town on the border with Myanmar, and again, education is being implemented in such a way. So you got a scarecrow wearing a mask, and then you got another poster with a buffalo on the background. Again, educating people, wear a mask, you know, wash your hands and keep distance. So education is implemented throughout the country. So most visitors obviously arrive to Thailand through an airport, and this is a video that shows the processes they need to go through when they land at Suvarnabhumi Airport. But what's happening in this airport actually happens throughout the kingdom, in all other airports.
Exactly, in all the airports. I'll play the video.
Yeah.
Sawadika, I'm Pachari Raksawong, and once again we're meeting here at Suvarnabhumi Airport. Let's suppose I'm a tourist arriving from abroad. What's the process like for entering the country, you ask? Well, today I'm going to walk you through it, all the steps based on the new normal. All foreigners traveling to Thailand must contact the Thai embassies or consulates in their country to hand in their visa application and all required documents. It is there at the diplomatic missions that you will get an overview. Upon landing at the airport in Thailand, this is the process that you'll have to go through. All travelers must have their travel and immigration documents inspected. All visitors will go through screening procedures, including getting your body temperature checked, and you'll be asked for medical information and recent travel history. If you have a body temperature of over 37.5 degrees Celsius with coughing, sneezing, shortness of breath and/or difficulty breathing, you'll have to get a swab test to identify the virus. This nasal and throat swab is very accurate with quick results. If the test is negative, then you go straight to immigration. But if you do test positive, you'll be referred to a hospital for treatment. Authorities will be checking various documents, including the certificate of entry, health insurance, health certification declaring that you're COVID-19 free 72 hours prior to departing the country of origin, along with a fit to fly health certification. And next, authorities will be checking that your name is on the list of alternative state quarantine, which should have been confirmed prior to arriving in Thailand. Respond to the questions. Have your passport checked as usual. Remove your face mask so staff can verify your identity, and then you're off to get your baggage. Let's go and have a look at what it's like at an alternative state quarantine or ASQ. Follow me. There are many ASQs to choose from in Bangkok and nearby provinces. Facilities located outside Bangkok are called Alternative Local State Quarantine. All properties and hotels must pass strict health criteria certified by the Ministry of Public Health. There must be a holding area cordoned off specifically for new arrivals at the hotel. The hotel must also have a partnership with a registered hospital. Visitors are quarantined for 14 days. These regulations are to ensure everyone's safety. Facilities and activities offered at an ASQ vary depending on the hotel you have selected. At this hotel, you get a yoga mat and an exercise manual inside your room. You can also request to rent a stationary bike during your quarantine period. If you want to purchase goods, you can do so via the website asq.locanation.com. There are fun DIY activities and also online exercise sessions. You'll also get to browse through some great deals being offered when it comes to hotels, attractions and airlines. Perhaps book a flight or plan your trip for when your quarantine period ends. All meals are hygienically prepared every step of the way from kitchen to your room and served 3 times a day, so you can be sure that throughout the 14 days you will be satisfied. You're also allocated time for a walk. Guests must make a reservation in advance to ensure the common area is not overcrowded. The medical team will be coming in to get a swab test 2 more times on the 5th and on the 12th day of your quarantine period. And after you've completed your quarantine, you're free to travel anywhere in Thailand. There will be a tracking system which you will need to keep with you throughout the duration of your visit in the country. There are many options for you to pick from when it comes to alternative state quarantine. Should you want to see the list, you can contact the Thai Embassy or Consulate to find out the details or visit the website asq.locanation.com for all the information on ASQs and prepping for your trip here to Thailand.
So that's what happened upon arrival. Oh, I cannot hear you.
I turn off my sound always when so I didn't say. Shall we do the quick one on the departure as well?
That's a little bit shorter. Yes.
Yeah. So we can start on that because then it's arrivals. It was good information on the quarantine places, so you can see as well. Yeah. It was good. So I'll do the departure, so we get a quick one on that one as well.
Yeah.
Sawadika, I'm Patari Raksa Wong, and we're here at Suvarnabhumi Airport. Currently, air travel is starting to pick up once again. With the adjustment to the new normal and the containment of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic following international guidelines, I wanted you to see the situation for yourselves. Let's go! Upon entering the terminal, everyone must wear a face mask and get their body temperature checked. This is part of the government's strict measures to stop the spread of COVID-19. And it's not just passengers who have to follow these rules, but all airport staff too. And staff will be welcoming you with a smile underneath their mask. วันนี้เที่ยวบินเต็มไหมคะเที่ยวเนี้ย To minimize contact between passengers and staff, checking in online is recommended. And if you need to print out your boarding pass, you can do it yourself. In addition to this, everyone must practice social distancing, so stay distant whether you're seated somewhere or waiting at the check-in counter. Airports of Thailand Public Company Limited takes hygiene and cleanliness very seriously. Staff are conducting deep cleaning even more frequently around the clock. There's a special emphasis on areas and surfaces prone to infections such as toilets, lifts, escalator handrails, seats and waiting areas, as well as small luggage, shoe trays and trolleys.